Going back to Obi-Wan, like I am crazy excited for it. I am crazy excited for it just because we just mentioned it right before we started. We actually get to see lightsaber battles live action on Disney Plus. Like Mando was great. Like I love Mando. Y'all know how I feel about Boba. I'm not gonna go back into Boba. I want to get back to lightsabers. So we see the Inquisitor blades from the Rebel series. Those look pretty nice. I want to see more of that in action. Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really good. What do you think about it, Charlie?
Can you understand me at all?
Don't worry about it. We don't need to understand you. The audience can. That's fine.
Jesus Christ. Honestly, little underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie to you. Give me a sec. Hold on. Let me fix this shit. Give me 1 sec.
Well, E, what were you thinking?
I was whelmed. I was to quote Robin in Teen Titans. I'm sorry, in Young Justice. I was extremely whelmed. Extremely whelmed. I thought it looked great. It was actually some of the best stuff I've seen from these Star Wars shows and trailers in a while. I told Otis before, it looked like the best Star Wars movie in years. That trailer. I love how the Inquisitors looked. I love the shot of the Inquisitors in their black, like starfighter, flying in. Actually, Ewan McGregor actually was always maybe beside him and Darth Maul in the Duel of Fates was like the only good thing I thought from the prequels itself.
Right, I can agree with that.
So I'm 100%. I'm right there with you. I'm right there.
Wait, so wait. You didn't like Jar Jar Binks? You didn't like Jar Jar Binks?
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that question, and I didn't hear that name.
I said it twice.
That's all it makes. I didn't hear it twice. I didn't hear either time.
No Jar Jar.
So yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm sorry to see it too. Yeah.
Am I understandable?
What was it about? Yeah, you're much better. A lot better. Oh my God. How you doing, Dev? Good to hear you.
Oh, fuck my life. Okay, we got it going finally. Yeah. Continue. Okay. Continue. We're good now. Everything should be in place now.
No, we pretty much made our piece. So we wanted to hear
it's your turn, Charlie.
What underwhelmed you so much about the trailer?
I mean, there's a whole lot of not Obi-Wan in a trailer of Obi-Wan. First and foremost. Secondly, I gotta say that I'm a fan of the Inquisitors. It's always cool to see the Inquisitors in content in general. They just didn't give me a lot to go off of with this because
it's a teaser. It's not like
teaser.
A full-on
that's why I hate teaser trailers. I'm like, you're giving me a teaser of something. You give me a teaser of a teaser. That's the point of a trailer. I feel like the point of a trailer is going to give you a synopsis, like a kind of an overview of what you're
synopsis.
Not a synopsis, but like a teaser. Like
pissed if a trailer gave a synopsis.
I don't want more. That was.
I would be so mad. I would be so upset.
I don't know how do I explain this. Not a synopsis, but like let me know what I'm about to watch. That was just like a random flash.
I have an idea
of a bunch of stuff that I've already seen, and I kind of already know where it's gonna go. Like not that particular, but as far regards to the plot of like those characters, like I know what happens in the canon as of now.
So I didn't know that Obi-Wan ever did come across the Inquisitors. I didn't know that he ever that they came to. Cause it doesn't look that they're in Tatooine the entire time. They're part of it, but it seems like they go to other planets that don't just have sand everywhere. So I didn't know. I was still surprised. I have an idea that the Inquisitors are trying to track down Jedi or Force-sensitive people, not Jedi necessarily. The remaining Jedi that survived and then Force-sensitive people. I gathered that or gleaned that from the teaser, and I like how it didn't show too much. It didn't show Obi-Wan fighting a whole bunch of people. It didn't show how good he is. It's like we already know these things. Plus, let's save something, for prom night. So that's what a trailer or a teaser trailer is supposed to do. It did its job.
I agree.
That's the biased Star Wars fan in me. I'm like, what the fuck is about to happen? Because realistically, they're probably not fighting Obi-Wan. Well, they may. I don't know. Because in the canon, we know how I think that's the 7th sister, and I think the 6th brothers did with the hat. We know how they die. Like we see them die in shows already that are canonically canon.
Right. And Rebels.
Yeah. So like, I know what's going to happen. I know when they fight, they're going to get away. It's going to be a whole, we may kill Obi-Wan, but we know he's not going to die. We know when he dies. We know when they die. So what is the point of this if it's not anything that's pushing the universe forward? Because at this
So
point,
Well, that's the case. You could say that about the entire series.
That's what I was gonna say. You may be
like
the whole
you know how Obi-Wan dies. We know how every character they've shown dies too. So
pretty much. Like the only interesting stuff that happens with Obi-Wan, he's on Tatooine. You see is to me is when Maul shows up, and I guess maybe when he fights Chrysanthemum, because he does fight Black Chrysanthemum at some point, and that'll happen in the show. That's how Black Chrysanthemum got his scar in his eyes that he fought Obi-Wan. But even then, we know
I don't even know who that is.
That was the big black oh my god, what's the Wookiee from the Mandalorian, the gladiator?
Oh, okay.
It was Black Chrysanthemum.
Right on.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to put a lot more, because that's years and years and years out in the future. They're gonna have to put a lot more content in before that. Obi-Wan's clearly had to do a lot more in the more immediate sense, because dealing with when he fights Darth Maul, that's
at the end.
That's a ways out there too. And when he fights Black Chrysanthemum, I'm not sure how old he actually is, so I'm not sure when that happens.
He's relatively young when he fights Black Chrysanthemum. He's relatively young.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, there's still plenty. I think there's still plenty for them to mine. If you're upset that they're doing like a prequel, I get that. I understand that entirely.
Do a prequel on something that isn't already like been told over and over again, because we've gotten so many different perspectives of the Obi-Wan like lifespan with the Clone Wars, with the actual movies, with other TV shows that they brought him into. I'm like, yeah, he's around, but all the cool shit we've already seen him do. Being involved in all the other stuff.
So you
actually don't know that.
I mean, yeah, that's just me as a hardcore fan. I've watched all the shit, so I know. Maybe I'm being biased because I'm a hardcore fan and I've seen all this shit.
You tied to Obi-Wan. I got you. That's fine.
Somebody like y'all haven't seen it all, so it'll probably be different. It'll be different for y'all.
I mean, I've seen Clone Wars, I've seen Rebels, I've seen them those. Although I haven't watched, I haven't read like comic books with them. I haven't read like comic books. I've seen the show.
Comics aren't even canon. I don't think.
I'm just mad. This man is trying to degrade our friendship of Star Wars when we've probably been watching it since before he was born, though. Like,
I know I have.
Yeah, like I know for certain I've been watching since before you were alive. So don't try to downplay exactly how much of Star Wars we know. Like I know you know more because you research it more, but don't try to. Oh, you guys. I'm a hardcore fan. You guys are not a hardcore fan.
Don't even say y'all are hard. It's just. Well, I just brought up a whole character you didn't know who was. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying I just care about it more than you guys care about it, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you just...
But this show, we've had a more positive reception towards than you have.
Yeah, for this in particular. I just want to see. My whole thing is they have a lot more dope shit that they've, like, stories that they can tell, but they keep rehashing shit because they want to bring in. They're harping on nostalgia. They're doing what you hate, Otis. They're harping on people's nostalgia because they're bringing in Obi-Wan Kenobi that people love. When you have a million other characters and a million other stories you can tell, why are you rehashing the same thing again?
Because Ewan McGregor is available and he's still able to do the show.
Right. I would have preferred them to go back. I would have preferred them to go back to like before the Clone Wars in that whole time period where he's a Padawan and he's training. And he meets the Queen of Mandalore when he falls in love with her. And that whole bodyguard mission that they tease in the Clone Wars, do that because we haven't even seen that. We've heard about it. We may get some
backstory into that. We don't know what's all coming. But
here's the thing: whatever's going to happen with Obi-Wan in this series, we haven't seen that either. That's the whole idea. So you're saying you're cherry picking other events that you'd rather see, but we haven't seen whatever they're going to show us in this either.
Granted, fair enough. Granted. They showed a lot though, and a lot. I don't know. We'll
now you're saying they showed a lot, but then earlier you said they didn't show enough.
They showed a lot. They showed a lot of like as far as regards to who's going to be in it. Like if they're showing all,
they showed two people,
the Inquisitors, him on old Tatooine. Like, they're. How do I explain this?
We get it. You want more. You feel like
you wanted a different story.
I've seen these people
something different.
I've seen these people a lot.
Okay,
they've been
fair
around
enough.
a lot.
Yeah, they're retreading.
Weren't the Inquisitors only in one other thing, and that's Rebels?
We've seen the Inquisitors in Rebels, in video games, and were they in the Clone Wars? No, they weren't.
They weren't in the Clone Wars.
They didn't show up till Rebels.
Rebels. They were in the not the Last Shadow. Oh my God, what's the name of that game?
The First Order.
The Last Order. Or
Cal Kestis.
Whatever.
Yeah,
they were in that. Yeah. Plenty of comic. Well, I don't even know are the comics even canon anymore? Because they canonized and decanonized a lot of shit.
I thought they were, because I mean, it seems like everything that they may have said things aren't canon, but then they bring them into canon anyway. So it's kind of may as well also stay canon. I mean, Thrawn will be in there soon enough too.
I'll have to go back and watch the trailer, but I know the sixth brother, he had his hand cut off by Vader for some shit. So if his hand's not there, maybe, or maybe it's before that. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
I mean, we know Vader's going to show up in this because they said Hayden Christensen is reprised his role.
Right.
They did say that.
So maybe they'll rewrite this and have. All right, if we're seeing a bunch of Vader stuff go down, I'll take that because there's a lot of Vader stuff that happened in the comics. It's like if we're just telling the Obi-Wan story, I'm like, I've seen Obi-Wan a lot, man. And I just give me some shit.
You're tired of Obi-Wan.
I would have preferred a Vader series.
I don't know about that. Here's the thing. We got a whole Vader series essentially before the whole prequels. It's like I don't want to see what makes Vader work at all. It's the same that made Boba Fett work back in the day was the mystique. If you show a whole bunch of him doing a whole bunch of stuff, walking around, having conversations, drinking coffee, it's like I'm done. I'm done with
It's going to be the Kylo Ren effect, essentially.
It's going to be the Kylo Ren. It's also the Boba Fett show effect, where he all of his magic is like a nope.
So how much have y'all read a lot of the comics? Like the Vader comics?
No.
So he doesn't do a lot of talking. Like he'll like command people, but a lot of the stuff going on is like internal dialogue in his head about him reflecting on his life as he's going through shit.
If you show that in the show, you're gonna have him doing that
narrate,
monologuing outside.
Narrator,
you had narrated. That's gonna be a hard watch. I don't know what's gonna work. I don't know.
I watch it to test it.
Yeah,
but I could feel like that would feel like watching Space Batman at that point. I feel like just looking at the brooding, like you're just looking at Darth Vader brooding and then doing things.
Imagine the end of Rogue, but like on a grander scale, where he's just like slaughtering shit and like exerting his dominance over shit. Like him killing Sarlacc pits, him like murdering Wookiees, and him like he did a lot of crazy shit in those comics.
Right.
That hasn't been put on screen yet.
Right.
I'm just like I just feel like with the Obi-Wan granted they could be rewriting it. Because I didn't see if Filoni and Favreau were on this or not. But they could be rewriting it because they showing a lot of the Inquisitors. And they didn't really show a lot of Obi-Wan in the trailer, so we could just be following the Inquisitors around. Which at that point, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong at that point. But
the show is called Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, he's clearly going to be in the show.
The Boba Fett was called the Book of Boba Fett, but we saw a lot more Mando than we did Boba Fett in that.
That's
because Mando didn't show up to the 5th episode out of like 6 episodes.
Out of 6, yeah.
It was there.
He showed up in the 4th. Because the 4th episode was completely about him. The 5th one was him with Boba, and the 6th one was the final big fight with him and Boba.
Yeah,
so he was there for almost half the series.
Yeah.
I mean, he was definitely the highlight of the show.
So if it's
that's what I said. They had to bring him in to say the show, right?
Right. So if it's a case like that, to where he's there, but we're focusing on other people and bringing other people in, I'm cool with that. But if we're just like focusing on Obi-Wan and watching Luke Skywalker the whole time on Tatooine, and he has to fight a Wookiee or fight Chrysanthemum, or I'm trying to think who else. I think maybe he fought a couple bounty hunters for whatever reason. They were looking for Luke or looking for the Lars family or some shit like that.
Yeah,
like that's his whole show, is him like making sure Luke doesn't get found and get fucked up.
Right. Well, no, it's that's I see where you're coming from. I do. That's fair. You want to, but I think what you may be doing a little of it is projecting, because you went in there with expectations for certain things that you wanted, and you wanted certain, because they're not giving what you wanted, you're upset about that. I get you. That's fair. But I'm more or less judging what I saw, and like the way it looked, the way it was presented. How I didn't know the Inquisitor was going to be in there. The actual cinematography looks like it's actually on fire. Those kind of things. What I'm excited about.
No, I didn't know that the Inquisitor was going to be in this show.
Yeah, they announced that a lot. They announced that when they announced the show.
I didn't see the announcement. So.
Yeah.
But
so that's why I was excited.
Yeah, the cinematography in this was like definitely top tier. Like some of those shots look better than pretty much anything in Boba. Honestly,
it shot well. Yeah, it shot really well.
A lot of them did. Yeah,
it's gonna look good cinematically. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna look amazing, and a lot of the fights on screen are gonna look dope. The Inquisitors are still cool, so if we get a lot of the Inquisitors, I'm excited about them. Me is just
some actual lightsaber fights, actual legitimate lightsaber battles.
That's what I watch Star Wars for.
Depending on who they're fighting.
Well, I imagine it'll be, because I think one thing, it seems like there's the Inquisitor. That's what the Inquisitors did. They rounded up other Jedi or Force-sensitive people, so it'll probably be.
And there weren't that. They didn't find that many Jedi. Like they're more so finding Force-sensitive kids and kidnapping them and killing like bounty hunters. They encountered a couple of Jedi, but most of those Jedi you saw in the series,
they're already dead.
Vader killed them off.
Yeah, but now this takes place before Rebels too, so there may be some other ones, because I imagine they're going to actually, of course, they'll put in some new stuff, put in some new story, new lore or whatnot. Right. So we could see all kinds of fun stuff. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the idea of seeing Inquisitors fighting with lightsabers against other people. I'm excited about seeing Ewan McGregor come back in the role that he is very, very good at.
I love the character too. I love that character. It's just this particular point in time for the character for me. I love Ewan McGregor. It would be dope to see the Inquisitors trained by Vader, because Vader put them through some like brutal shit when he was training.
That would be cool. That's cool. Possible. That is possible.
That's probably how they're gonna have him come back anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, those parts I'd be dope to see. Like all the shit that won't be Obi-Wan watching Luke would probably be cool to me, but I will hold that until I see it.
I don't think they'll have him just sitting there watching Luke too much of it. Like I think he's like gonna be in the vicinity of Luke, like watching him with the Force or something, maybe like that. But I think this is gonna be a story encompassing Obi-Wan, giving him an arc in that time between Order 66 and Episode 4.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
It'll probably be a lot of flashbacks too. It'll probably be a lot of reflecting.
It's probably gonna be like what you just mentioned about what happened. There's that bodyguard mission. They might flash back to that. I don't see why they would.
Why not? Yeah.
And if I'm seeing all that, I'm down. I'm down for that, because I'm seeing shit that I haven't seen before when it comes to the character and development.
Because the bodyguard mission that you mentioned, wasn't that done? I guess that was mentioned as originally in the Clone Wars, which is by Filoni and them, right?
That's when he was still a Padawan under Qui-Gon Jinn still.
Right, but so that was in the Filoni era, and Filoni and them are working with this on this show. It stands to reason that it could be addressed in some way in this show too.
Right, that'd be cool. That's the biased Star Wars fan to me, but I'm biased, and I will admit that I am biased.
No, that's okay, and I get that. That's passion. My friend. Fans get passionate as hell about this stuff they like. Right. That's what
it feels like to me. It feels like the Dragon Ball Z Goku treatment, where it's like you have other stories you want to tell and you could tell, but you're going back to what the fans are going to watch so you can make money. Like, oh, fans didn't like it when Goku was dead. We'll just bring Goku back and just redo him 50 million thousand times.
Well, yeah. Skywalker shit. Yes, I see what you're saying, but it's like this series was kind of like people were asking for this series for a while. They actually wanted an Obi-Wan story, so it's kind of like it's fan service that actually they're trying to meet the demand of that fan service, as opposed to like trying to shove something down, make something popular that isn't we don't want.
So, like, think about the last time we saw Ewan McGregor in this role. Like, how many years ago was that? When did
2000
Episode 3?
I was like.
So 2004, 5?
Yeah.
04, 06. Whatever Episode 3 came out.
Right, and it's 2022.
Yeah, and he's always been very vocal about how much of a fan he is of the series, how much he enjoyed doing Star Wars. He's been at many of the D23 and the Star Wars conventions. He's been at them plenty of times, and every time the fans are going crazy for him. They want more of him. So this has been a long time in the making.
Yeah, the last thing they had him do, he did like the voiceover thing at the end of the last movie of the new trilogy or whatever, when they had everybody come back, all the ghosts come back.
Yeah, he was in there. That's right.
Yeah, like him, Hayden Christensen, Sam
Yoda,
Jackson. Basically, anybody that played a Jedi came back to like do voiceovers and be ghost spirits or whatever.
Yes, they did. Ahmad Best as Jar Jar Binks. So
have you guys heard the theory about Jar Jar being the ultimate Sith Lord in disguise?
Yes,
that'd be fire. I ain't gonna lie, that'd be funny as shit if I got a spoof of that. I want an anthology series.
If that actually was true, that would actually make them interesting. But he's not interesting.
I need an anthology series of that, like Jar Jar being a fucking super Sith Lord.
Perfect segue.
You see how I do? You see how I set it up? Speaking of anthology series, Diabolical, guys, how did you guys feel about that in particular?
Besides for one shitty episode, I thought it was great.
Of course, he starts with the negative and then goes about this. I know. I actually thought it was really, really good. Anthologies can be very difficult, very hard to get, because they're oftentimes very hit or miss. Like, was it Love, Death, and Robots, or Love, Sex, and Robots?
Love, Death, and Robots. First season hit, second season did not. Yeah, it had like one good one out of all of them. Black Mirror tends to have really good episodes. It always has a couple ones that are misses here or there. But this show, actually, bizarrely enough, it was like 7 for 8. It has 7 episodes I actually really enjoyed, and it had that one episode. It's like, what the hell's going on here? It almost seems like it was a dare or a bet someone lost, or both. And it's like, this is just wrong. It's like, we'll get to that. Aquafina is a hot topic. Let's give her an episode.
Is she really a hot topic?
I guess a little bit right now. She's trending up because of what Shang-Chi, I guess, but.
Yeah, she's been around for a while. She has her own show on
She
Hulu.
Does something decent.
She destroyed a 2K. You know what I'm saying?
Oh god.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure she got a lot of haters off that alone. Like, if she would have never done that, niggas would not hate her as much. I swear to God. People would hate her, but not to the degree that they hate her now.
If she didn't do that, we just wouldn't know she existed. But now that we know she exists,
Wasn't
we
she
know
on
that.
something else before that though?
She's been in movies
important.
like she was in Ocean's 8 and stuff back in 2017,
Who watched that?
16. I mean, some folks watched it. But I mean, the thing is, but we get off topic. Before we get into negative spiraling, I did want to bring up let's first address the episodes we did like. What was your favorite episode in the anthology series?
That's tough.
Go ahead, Charlie. Oh, okay, I'm going first. Outside of the last episode, I really enjoyed the more the anime style episodes for sure. Like the I think the 7th one involved the man and his wife.
Yeah, Jun and Sun Lee. Yeah.
Right. I enjoyed the Nubian episode. I thought that was funny. I thought that was kind of
great.
Cute.
That was great.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. It felt like
that one was fucked up. What do you mean? That one was twisted.
It was hilarious though.
Was it really twisted? How was it twisted though? It felt like a animated sitcom, dog.
For them to not argue with each other, they have to be murdering someone.
Pretty much. And
their child facilitated in the process of a murder.
That guy is. He was trying to help out too. He's like, "I'll help you out, kid." And he actually even says,
"Did he die? Did they kill him for sure?"
Yes.
I don't know.
Because I know for sure they weren't killing anybody initially because all that was staged. Like he said, in their entire career they were just acting or whatever. So I know they didn't kill anybody initially. Yeah, I don't know if they killed him. It
isn't him punching him in the face. He's him punching him over and over again.
Yeah.
That's when he cuts away from it.
Right. So I know they didn't kill any. I know they didn't kill anybody beforehand.
Yeah.
Him. Plus, he's a superhero, so he's probably got worse. Maybe I don't know. I feel like anybody just survived that is him, being that he's possibly.
Well, it's funny because they bring up this is something that you would like, Dev. I'm not sure how much wrestling you watch, Otis, but the whole idea of kayfabe, essentially, where he says this is all fake. Right. We were hired by Vought. I'm hired to be a villain. They're heroes. It's literally scripted.
Right.
It's kind of stuff. So that's kind of cool.
Also shows how twisted Vought is. Like they're scripting crimes.
Yeah.
To increase the popularity of their people. Like that's pretty dark.
It is, but it's very. I love the idea. It's very interesting because in a world of superpowered super beings, it's kind of
that they created them. By the way,
I mean, it's crazy, but it's not crazy dark because he was just robbing a bank. Like it's like a nigga was robbing a bank and they beat him up. Oh my god, they saved the day. Like unless it was like he was a terrorist or some shit like that and actually murdering people, I'd see it. Well, but he's just doing like petty crime. And like shit like that, where it's not that at least these individuals in particular, it's not that crazy to me. This episode was kind of a cutesy, like funny episode to me.
It was hilarious. It was funny, but the idea too that a young girl, because she's afraid, think about this from this perspective. You're afraid that your parents, because it opens with her hearing her parents arguing hard, and they're pretty much like they're on the verge of divorce. Then she's like, she confesses to her dad, "I'm afraid I'll get a divorce." He says, "Oh, we're not getting divorced. That's not happening." Mom shows it in the next second. Like, we're getting divorced. It's like, imagine for an 8-year-old to hear that. Like, you'd be losing your mind. And out of desperation, she looks up the super villain that kind of brought them together and almost begging him to bring them back together again. Threatens him by calling him a pedophile if he doesn't. Like, there's a twist in this here.
Right, this is crazy. That world is nuts. But I love it.
I guess I'm desensitized, it's a funny world, though. After watching like The Boys and Invincible and shit, I'm just so desensitized and shit like that now.
Yeah,
because I've seen the bar of fucked up shit that happens, and then it's like, oh, I mean, on the scale of that, it's not that bad. Like the nigga was just robbing a bank. But I see what you mean in that sense.
That's so true.
Okay. Imagine if you were any of the people, right? Like any of the people in this situation, would you not feel like that's pretty? Like if you were the guy that's like, yeah, I'm gonna help this kid.
I'm gonna help this kid.
He's like, but then she on the backhand threatens you with like reporting that you're a pedophile. Like that's
Well, like, she does offer to open up sodas for him too. That was like a thing that he really needed.
That makes wait. Branding you as a pedophile for life equates to making up for
to him. Like you saw how depressed
he was. Hammers for hands and can't masturbate. He's like, I can't jack off. What's am I gonna do? It's like, well, fair enough, brother.
You know how depressed he was when he couldn't open a soda or he can't fucking open a door. He's
you think he wouldn't be more depressed being branded as a pedophile for the rest of his life?
Probably not.
Oh, I'm sure
he's broke. He doesn't have shit to do. He can't do shit for himself. Now he has somebody that can like open shit for him after you can. That's like, imagine you not having any arms at all. You can't play the game anymore. You can't do podcasts and shit. And now somebody comes through and says, yeah, I'll be your special helper or whatever. I'll help you do whatever you need to do. I'll be the person with hands. Nigga, you'd be ecstatic. You'd be like, oh hell yeah!
If it came after being threatened, my life being threatened that way,
what life do you have though?
Freedom. You're not in jail.
Was he really
not on the the list of like there is a watch list for pedophiles.
There is
every
or sex offenders in general.
Right, like
this conversation took a dark, horrible turn.
But that's what this show is.
And that's what it is. That's the twistedness of it. That's the twistedness of it. But the thing is,
ruined at that point. He's not getting that vault check anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No. Was he? So I'm curious. Was he still on the vault payroll? Because you saw he put on a bunch of weight. Say 8 years later, he put on a bunch of weight.
He was probably like on the underburner then, because he called like when she showed up, he was like, "No vault, fuck you guys. Like you guys have been da da da." So he's still on the payroll.
So
he's probably
maybe the outs with them or something. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, he got
but that's one episode. That's one episode.
That is one.
Yeah. And that was written by Aisha Tyler, who's a very funny.
I love her, bro. She's
that's
girl
from
Archer.
Lana.
Yeah, she's still on Archer. She was she hosted Whose Line Is It Anyway for a while. So she's very funny.
But she's dope. She's super dope.
Voiced acted a lot of shit that I can think.
She's been voiced acting a bunch of things. Another one. I think the one that I like the most, the one that Deb brought up earlier, is the one that's pretty much like a Tetsuo episode number 7 with June. It's like June and Su Lee, where a desperate, essentially custodian, wants to save his dying wife, gets her some serum, and she turns into Tetsuo basically in a hospital and murders every cop within 10-mile radius, and then it ends with her tumor coming out of her, and she has to kind of like destroy her tumor like a Super Saiyan descent. But I love the actual. It seemed, out of all these stories, it seemed the most heartfelt. To me.
Honestly, the first one too. That first episode was I grew up watching like some of the Looney Tunes stuff growing up, and like some of that other. So I was like, it was cool to kind of see that kind of a fucked up story, but told in like a children's lens almost.
Right.
Looney Tunes murder spree.
Yeah, Looney Tunes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's tied for my favorite with the last episode, which I don't know if you saw, so I don't know.
I did see that one. I did.
You saw it?
Okay. So seeing the backstory on Homelander, oh man, I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that a while, and I was curious what the 7 was like before he got there. Like was like so seeing that Black Noir was the leader, and then like the transition to him not being the leader anymore.
You're right.
It was cool seeing how he became Homelander's right hand man in a sense. I just want to see more backstory on Black Noir now. He became even more of an interesting character to me. Like the fact he was like doing all that shady shit beforehand, but nobody knew.
Right.
I'm like, how did you get like
mute?
Exactly.
Right. He obviously the idea was he was kind of like the Batman of the team, but we all know that he basically has the same. He's a clone of Homelander. That's the whole idea. So the two of them are actually just as powerful as each other.
Are they really? Is he a clone?
Yeah, they're both like the same thing. That's why he can. That's what it is in the comic books. But they show that in the show too, where there's a part where in the episode at the beginning of season 2 when he goes to fight the Homelander. I'm sorry, Black Noir takes on a bunch of terrorists that have like firepower and everything, actual fire powers, and he survives a crazy hit and it heals up in front of them. Like, oh, well, he's guy actually is basically like God. It's like the same as Homelander. So that's the idea. He is Homelander.
So they had a bunch of clones. I don't know why they don't have the same abilities though. Like the abilities are so like drastically different. But
their abilities are pretty similar. Minus he just doesn't have the laser vision.
The flight. Is he as is he as strong as him? I don't even know if he's as strong as him.
He actually is. But the thing is,
you saw that episode where he was just like Terminator mode chasing after Huey and them.
Right, he's strong, but is he Homelander strong though? Where he's like punching through fucking like, you know what I mean? Like you've seen Homelander do crazier shit. Like he's not Superman level, because I don't want to have this power scaling niggas come after us, but.
I don't know if he's the same exact level. I think he's more like kind of a clone, like Superboy compared to Superman, where he's and a couple of his attributes isn't quite as strong as him. And they kind of pull in some code. Yeah, it's not quite the exact same thing.
I just wonder how that works because Black Noir was in the 7 first.
Yeah, so he had to be created for. Maybe Homeland's like a perfected version of whoever they clone.
That's
probably what it is. Because I'm basing this off of the comic books, not the show.
Right.
So
I don't know how accurate they have been to the comics or not.
Right, they made a lot of changes already. I mean, Huey's looks completely different. Obviously,
they showed Huey and Butcher in one of the episodes, like their actual like regular
The comic
comic designs.
Yeah.
When they the prank that they did to kill 2 of the vault people.
Yeah,
that was a great episode
yeah.
too.
That was
Great.
interesting.
He said prank. That's
Right.
twisted shit. That was a prank.
Right.
It was a prank.
Yeah.
Benny is, bro. I saw the backstory why Benny hates him so much. I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't. Like, I get why you hate them so much, but involving so much fucking like, there's a lot of like civilian backfire whenever he does bullshit like that.
Oh yeah, they're definitely.
He doesn't care about collateral damage.
He's a dark. The thing is, all these people are effed up.
Yeah.
All of them are.
I was like,
none of them are like good people.
Nigga, you're becoming what you hate the most.
Yes.
Some Yoda shit, like he's literally becoming what he hates the most. It's crazy.
Yes, I mean they call him the Butcher for a reason. Also, in the comics they get the same. They start using the Vault stuff Formula 2, and they become super crazy also with their power.
Yeah,
so
I think we see that in the next season.
Yeah, the teaser. I think it flashes that from what I understand.
Right.
So it's a whole big ass can of worms that's getting opened up in this show.
Let me know if I'm right. If I've heard this rumor, but I don't know if it's actually 100% true that the actor of Homelander is the same dude that was Joffrey Baratheon from Game of Thrones. Is that the same guy?
No.
Joffrey's a kid.
Okay, I didn't know how old he was or how long. Okay, I wasn't sure. I'm honestly waiting for Homelander to get the Joffrey treatment. Like, how are we gonna kill this nigga off? Because you has to get that same like his Duke comeuppance in a sense from all the people he's fucked up and fucked over. I'm like, how is he gonna die? Is it gonna be fucking as bad as other people he's done? Like I'm literally I still think about the blind hero that he fucking clapped, and I'm just like, damn, that was fucked up.
The Daredevil, yeah,
Daredevil. I'm like, you gotta pay for that one, bro. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that one alone was messed up. Yeah,
and that's not even counting the countless people that he's like the fucking plane of people that he fucking just like let die, all the other shit. I'm just like,
that was terrible.
This nigga gotta go in the most painful way possible.
He melted Elizabeth Shue's face. Yeah.
Question for y'all, not in the term of strength or power or anything like that, but like in terms of morality, who do you think is worse between Homelander and Omni-Man?
Homelander. Omni-Man he's just blindly following his code, which I've read a lot of comics now, so I know where that story goes. And he's honestly not as bad as you think he is if you read a lot of the comics with that.
I mean, but he did like use his son's face to murder an entire train of people, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think Omni-Man is worse because Omni-Man does know better. Homelander is like it's almost that's the same thing as far as like having like the quote unquote like a mentally incompetent defense in a court, or you're saying because Homelander is deranged. He needs psychological help. Omni-Man, he 100% is aware of what he's doing and chooses to do it.
Well, they're kind of similar in the sense they both were like trained as children to do that. Like they're pretty much, but Omni-Man gets like a Vegeta arc essentially in Invincible later on.
Yeah,
like
I mean, I know he's coming back around, but it's just like
he comes back.
Like he's
still like
he's literally Vegeta, literally. So if niggas forgive Vegeta for blowing up planets and genocide, I'm just like,
right. But so what are you saying? Are you saying, Dev, that Omni-Man?
I gotta see more of Homelander. I've just seen me reading the comic. I'm like, once Omni-Man's good, he stays good for like a long time. Like I don't think he goes back to being evil ever.
I feel like on some level, Homelander's almost amoral. Like he doesn't know what's right and wrong. He kind of doesn't understand. His brain doesn't work right enough.
Right.
I agree. Like he tries to do well, but ends up making things worse repeatedly.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And he didn't have an actual mother and father to raise him. He was literally, you can
say similar things about Omni-Man though. Like again,
yeah. Omni-Man actually was raised by a race of people on a planet. Actually, like he was raised to be a soldier. He actually understands. He actually raised a family himself. And he's been alive for a lot longer. He wasn't abused as he was brought up. He was raised like a soldier.
You could say there's abuse when you get to murder people at the age of like 7.
He was raised essentially in an army, a military race, but he still had a family. He still had people that loved him and cared for him.
True, but his morality, in the sense of like that's like in the perspective, like you guys get it, where in his eyes he views them as like ants, or like a pet. So like his morality to him is extremely different than their morality. Like he wasn't raised like he looks at them as a speck in the fucking cosmos because they come and go.
That's what I'm saying though.
That's fucked up.
It's fucked up, but it's more of a product of like it's a cultural difference more so than like him just like fucking choosing to do wrong.
No, but then it still is the choice to do wrong. Think about this. He chose to come to Earth raise a family.
Mhm.
Duplicitous. It was very duplicitous. He knew what was going to happen. He chose to beat up his son. He chose to hold his son against a train with a whole bunch of people speeding at it. He chose to murder people he was friends with in their version of the Justice League, essentially.
Right.
All those things. And we see this in the anthology series with Homelander, episode 8, where Homelander's like, I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to stop this hostage situation. I don't know what's going on. It's my first time out here. This is really, really bad. What can I possibly do? He was severely abused as a child. He didn't have a mother and a father to help him out. It feels like two different things. I'm not saying that either of them are really good, but it seems more like Homelander's lost, whereas Omni-Man is deliberate.
Okay, I see your point.
Yeah.
So then, go ahead.
I'm saying like that. That's what I see it as well. Like, you know, like Homelander was not trained to decide things. Like he just like does what he can, and things happen the way they happen. Omni-Man makes a choice to do everything that he does, and he actually regrets his choices, which is how he is able to have a redemption later on.
Right.
But he's aware of what he's doing, and he chooses to do them, knowing the repercussions of those things.
So at what point did that blonde lady that was like a mentor, I guess, to Homelander come about? Because she said that she groomed him to be like the #1 hero and shit like that.
She was probably around since like he was
childhood.
young. Yeah.
So she was like grooming him, like she was at least teaching him how to publicly be perceived as right or wrong, like how to in the media. So you could say he has that in him. He just doesn't see it as like his own. Like he has an idea of right from wrong. Because he knows what people are going to see as right. Like he knows what you are going to see as right from wrong, and he has to appeal to you.
That's like a sociopath. That's like Dexter. Dexter with his dad, where his dad's like, you in your brain, you do not understand it naturally. Therefore, I'm going to tell you so you can understand it.
Even Dexter in the show, he admitted that he knew this was wrong, but it was a compulsion. Like he couldn't stop it.
Which is weird, yeah. So true sociopaths don't have that ability. It's not there is no either. It's very much like I do not have that capacity. And they were trying to do that version with Dexter. And they kind of switched it up some. But it seems very much like Homelander. His brain is broken. He doesn't have that function in there. But it may be off. So I may be looking too far into it also.
So in that same vein, I have a question then over between. Let's take Omni-Man versus Vegeta now. We have two very similar characters. Vegeta, obviously, you can argue probably has a higher body count than Homelander is, maybe probably double, depending on how many people live on that planet. And he was redeemed. Planets in plural.
Yeah.
And he was redeemed, and like the nigga, like they're literally.
Was he redeemed? That's a question right there. But go on. I'm sorry.
I mean, he went to hell, came back, and he's been defending the planet for years. That's the thing. Fans of the series don't see him as evil anymore, which they probably won't see Homelander, not Homelander, but Omni-Man as evil once they get into it. Also, it depends on how much of the comics they put into the show. How much they'll change up, because literally Omni-Man is literally Vegeta, like literally the same.
But I interrupt your question. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish your question up though.
No, but that's it. There's like more morally wrong, like in the same vein of questions you had between Omni-Man and Homelander. Now we're doing Omni-Man and Vegeta now, where they're kind of similar characters and have similar arcs.
Yeah, it's there's what's interesting too about Vegeta. Vegeta has a massive backslide where because the thing is Vegeta. It took Vegeta a long time to finally want redemption. Like he was begrudgingly
until Super, pretty much. Yeah,
it was pretty much till Super. It's pretty much he didn't get over his shit until the end of Z finally, when he was fighting, when they were fighting against Boo after they both had been dead. And he finally was able to get past his shit, essentially. So in Super you see him finally redeemed. With Omni-Man, it seems like he was, even though the things he's done, I'm not sure how many planets he's conquered before he got to Earth. It seemed very much like he was, once Mark confronted him, I'm saying this particularly off the show, he finally it broke him. He stopped right there in his tracks. He stopped before
he told Mark to think, so he thought himself, and then he had to change his ways. That's what happened. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I feel like as far as the better, and that's another, we need to get Zell back on here for this. But who had the better? Who could potentially have the better redemption arc between Vegeta and Omni-Man? I don't know. It probably would be.
Because for me, the way, I don't know, when you look at Vegeta, a lot of issues he has is with his pride and his ego. Omni-Man is like a sense of duty he has to his people. Like he's looking at it as like he's loyal to a fault in a sense.
Right.
So it's kind of like now once Omni-Man breaks that whole blind loyalty to his people, now now how I feel, my feelings are valid. Now I know I wasn't crazy for loving this person. I know I wasn't crazy for, because essentially like he had these feelings for people, but he would justify him not taking it seriously by being like, all right, I have my duty. Like these are real feelings.
Right.
Versus with Vegeta, it's like, all right, nigga, like I knew it was wrong, but like now my pride as a like the sand race isn't around anymore. Frieza's gone as at that point in time. Now my whole goal now I still need to be stronger than fucking Goku.
Right. Well, but part of it is too is that I've heard a couple of breakdowns about what's going on with Vegeta. So Vegeta's biggest thing is with his pride, like you mentioned, is also it's the idea that he's in denial. He does love Bulma and Trunks and having a family, but he doesn't want to accept that. He doesn't want to accept that he actually has a life that isn't what he wanted originally. He wanted to be a king of a planet like his daddy. And that dream is gone. And so he's projecting all of his anger in a sense at Goku as far as someone that took that away from him.
Damn. I just had no, go ahead. My bad.
No, before you forget, go ahead. So
no, I just had another realization and why they're even more of the same character, but I can't give that away without a spoiler. If y'all
don't give too many spoilers away for the
which it may or may not be, because I don't know how much they're gonna take in it, because I know they've changed some stuff up.
But don't give too much away for the book. But it's all this just to say that they are very comparable characters, which is really cool. And I like that idea that these are characters that are growing and changing and adapting. Because also it's the same thing with typically the hero characters like Mark and Goku. If they're not flat characters, they're definitely going to have lower arcs. Characters that start off like very far extreme one way or another, they have a lot more room to change.
Mark even more so, I feel like he's like an extreme optimist. And he's like slowly on that path, but like not becoming a pessimist per se, but like just not seeing the best in people, just seeing things for what it is.
Right. I mean, he's young too.
Right.
We're all a lot more
he's
naive.
A high school student, right? Man.
He's a high school student.
For anybody that hasn't read the Invincible comics, I suggest it because that shit gets crazy. And I love Mark as a character, like seeing him develop in that series. So yeah, that's promo. I guess free promo for that. If you haven't read it, go read it. It's dope. Probably one of the better comics I've read.
Right on. Now I don't know. Are we talking about Invincible today, or is everything?
We're just.
We just got on a rabbit hole.
Rabbit holes. No, rabbit holes.
We're on
rabbit
brand.
holes. Rabbit holes are cool. Let's see. What's the other one? There's another one that I want to talk about. I'm trying. There was any other one that we thought that was worth talking about. We haven't mentioned yet. They're all pretty good though, except for Martinez. But
I enjoyed the social media one where the guy takes that formula. It was interesting. I think I've seen shows now. I think a lot of shows now are kind of doing that current time satire on like social media being a corrupter or whatever.
Yeah.
Which that's fun. The only thing I think that's like fucked up about that in a sense is that people nowadays blame social media and the internet as if it's like its own entity per se, but they don't really take into account like we build that. Like it's something that we built. The internet makes things based off of what you enjoy, what you watch. It feels like there's a lot of deflection of personal responsibility nowadays when it comes to that. Like it's like let's demonize the internet. Okay, it's their fault. We don't have to take responsibility for us like posting, being toxic online, or us sharing the posts that have toxicity in them and like promoting shit. That's the one thing I don't like that I feel like somebody needs to do if you're going to do something like that in a satire. But I enjoyed this though. I thought the fucked up part came at the end when you realized that he wasn't doing any of that.
He wasn't doing any of that?
Like, you know, at the end of that episode where he like dies or his head explodes or whatever.
Oh yeah. Nothing happened. It's all in his mind. It's all in his mind. Yeah. That was the most like Black Mirror episode in the whole anthology, essentially. I know what you mean. Is getting into the idea as far as the perpetual cycle between technology and the people who use it and the people who create it. The problem with it is there's so much of an illusion. The illusion that any of us, the way we portray ourselves or represent ourselves on social media and things of that nature, on Twitter or Facebook or whatever else, Instagrams. And that's what this episode showed. That it showed them like when they were a little ways into their relationship, how they would, of course, they'll hold hands in public, but then once they get behind closed doors, they couldn't see each other. It showed also how they came together essentially in a restaurant when they were just chilling out. Then they started making out like crazy to try and create a public image to get money. The whole idea was just to do this, just to become sensationalized. And they also found out later on that Vought gave them a contract to actually to be a couple essentially too. So it is showing just how the age-old idea of greed hasn't changed. It's just evolved over time, and technology has been a big contributor to that. It always
absolutely
right. Honestly, I always when I think about that whole thing, I always think about like iRobot, where we made the machines in our image, we make technology in our image, and to cover up what things we can't do.
Right.
And then we blame the technology itself when we created the technology.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the story of like everything. Like
of everything.
like, you know, I mean, let's not go out. We gotta go another episode.
I know. Okay,
we're on Jim Crow. We're not doing Jim Crow today.
God damn it! We almost had a whole episode. Almost.
It's actually been like 3 or 4 episodes we've had without mentioning it.
We mentioned it after we cut one time, but yeah, the last time we had Stan on for a playthrough. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, Stan on. When did we have Stan on for playthrough?
No,
it was me and E doing that a couple weeks.
Okay, I was about to say
Elden Ring. Yeah,
I thought I was tweaking for a second, but yeah,
it was the week that you had to back out because
you're right with family.
My mom was holding me hostage at home. My birthday. Yeah, the series all in general, I love it. I'm starting to become a bigger fan of anthology series. Like I love getting to see people's visions come to fruition, even though some of them are shitty. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
I mean, that's literally what it was. Yeah.
It was a shitty episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I loved it. I enjoyed the series very much. So I kind of wish we would get more backstory on more of the characters. Like I love to see a lot more backstory on Queen Maeve because she's interesting to me, but I don't see enough of her to care. I feel like for me personally. Like I care about her, but not enough to get invested in her. I'll say it's better.
I feel like they started to delve into her in that second season of The Boys a lot more. Like she was becoming a character and not just like an accessory to Homelander in that season. I feel
right.
And not just a clone of Wonder Woman kind of thing, as far as or analog for Wonder Woman. Yeah, and she actually was like that. Even in the first season, they set it up the idea that she is trying to stand, that she's trying to oppose Homelander as much as she can, but at the same time, she's held hostage by him like anybody else.
Yeah, because she knows she can't kill him.
She can't fight him. And like the idea too, that it shows that she had to sacrifice what she wanted, which is a relationship with her girlfriend or maybe even her wife, I'm not sure, to be in this group. So so she definitely has. I like the idea when it gives agency to their characters. Where you see what they have their own motivations and desires, and it seems like if anyone is able to, is going to try to find a way to take down Homelander in some capacity, it'll be Maeve. She'll figure something out. She's smart enough to do it. She's close enough to do it. And she's smart, and she's actually powerful enough to try to start something.
I think it'll honestly be kind of a similar thing. Again, going back to Omni-Man again, when they talked about the Guardians of the Globe, it's known that the Guardians of the Globe could have killed Omni-Man if they all would have done it together. This is why he picked them off. So I think Homelander will be a thing where he gets like jumped by a lot of the people that like he fucked over, and then they kill him. Because I don't think any one person.
I wonder. The thing is though with Homelander, because I'm trying to, can he even? Does he have weaknesses? Like if you punch him really, really hard, is he gonna bleed? When he was a kid, it showed him bleeding. So I guess possibly, yeah.
Even Superman can be punched to death. He can be beaten to death. So I think it'll be a similar thing.
Yeah, he can be.
Maybe what's his son gets involved, or
I'm sure the
son's involved. And Butcher probably figures something out. Butcher gets his powers from the boss.
Starlight.
Yeah.
If they all team up, they can take him down probably.
Right.
It's interesting thing about that. I love when they do that really well. When they build up a seemingly impossible foe, and they cleverly actually do find a way to. They write a legitimate way for them to get taken down.
It's like a video game in a sense. Like when you have that one boss that all your homies take on, we know what he's impervious to at this point. We know his flaws and what can get him, and we just like exploit all his weaknesses.
Perfect segue number 2 as we're watching us fight a boss right now on the screen.
We do this, baby. That's what I do. Transitions and my shit. Wait till we get ads. When we get sponsors, nigga, I'm going crazy with transitions.
As you transition into the ad, that's why I couldn't sit down last night because of my hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoid Creed. Get your hemorrhoid right here from Ben Gates.
We finished. We killed him last night, didn't we, Godric? Yeah, we killed him.
We did.
Yeah, we killed him. That was but we should have. So I think this is the time was this the time that I effed up? And we should have, because we came real close.
Well, right now I'm fighting him solo, so it had to be that one.
No, it wasn't this one. It was when we had he had like 2 hits left at max.
I think it was probably like the one before this. We might have missed it actually. I think it's the next one. Is it the next one? I thought it was the first time we got really far, and then we didn't.
I could be wrong. I know. All I know is it took us a few tries. Because the thing was, we kind of broke the system, and we took. You are way underpowered for him, and you're using a rogue. You're using a knife. You brought a knife to a.
But you saw how much damage that bleed buildup did to him, though.
It does.
It took off. It
does do damage. It does, but you have to survive. You got to survive though. You are at this point. You are You are
Yeah,
you are a
I'm
super
way
glass cannon.
ahead of where I should be
Right.
level
Yes.
wise, but hey, we made it.
In
Yeah, you
regards
did make
to Elden Ring in general, as two guys that are veterans of the franchise, how do you guys feel about the game so far?
I'll start. I don't know
I
if you
hate it. It's an addiction. I don't think that they should have combined this exploration of a Skyrim with a game as difficult as Dark Souls. Like, why would you do that? You're just asking people to like masochistically just waste hours of their lives repeatedly.
begging them to.
Like
Begging
it's
them.
torturous. It's torturous.
Forget your families. Forget bathing. Just don't. I told you I've skipped out on dates.
Don't forget bathing. Don't be out here musty. Don't be out here. Don't be doing that.
Don't be out here.
Yeah, even if people don't be musty. Don't do it.
Well, I'll answer real quick. I know I've talked about it thousands of times, so I'll be quick. I'll be brief. It does feel like a good combination of Zelda Breath of the Wild or even Skyrim meets a FromSoft game in the best possible way. As far as if you hit a wall like this is a wall. Essentially, if Otis didn't have us backing him up, he would say, "Okay, cool, I'll go explore other places, level up, do other stuff. I can get more gear." We're having a conversation before about how you take on Homelander, someone that seems impossible. Well, in this game, what you could do is you could go find some summons to help out, get some different weapons, level up, get different gear. All these other things are available, other routes are available, and that's how they stay out the entire game. I hit a wall very late in the game. I'm at level 105 now, and I hit a wall at something, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I left, and I found there's a whole like 2 whole areas underground, like ones that look like hell. And I fought those areas and I leveled up some more. I found some more stuff. So there's always another place you can go to do more stuff.
Right.
And that didn't exist in other FromSoft games, really.
All right. Me personally, again, this being my first FromSoft game, the closest comparison, I talked to Ethan about it a couple times, Otis, but my closest comparison being Assassin's Creed Origins, a game that's, again, it's like an MMO open world, like a huge, massive world. You can run into a lot of different spots that are too strong for you to take out. But it's like that times 10,000 because the boss fights in this are ridiculous. Even the mini boss fights are crazy. And then even with the exploration, like the map of Origins was big, but Ethan, thinking about it, I will probably give this more of a nod to the size due to the fact they're leveled. Like the open world is leveled. There have been plenty of times where like I've been through an area and I've looked up a YouTube video on how to find a particular weapon, and it's like right underneath where I've already passed a million times over. Or it's in a side area where I didn't even know it was. And I go into that side area, and that side area has a million different side areas within that. And I'm just like, damn.
Right.
This
yeah,
game,
that's the thing. Yeah. I think the Assassin's Creed games, it's maybe a wider sprawling map per se, because there's also oceans involved and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This one does have verticality. Also, it's denser. You have to go deep down inside these things, and in the same area, you can go into a tomb. Within that tomb, you can go to another tomb. There was one area I went into where there were two. It was a tomb within a tomb. I was like, "What the hell is this game?" And there's another area before. And there's another area too. You'll see this later on where you go into this manor. You have to go to this volcano, and then once you get to this volcano, there's this manor. Once you go to this manor, there's a hidden door. Once you get behind this hidden door, there's a whole like another hidden manor behind that. And once you get inside that hidden manor, there's also another hidden boss behind that. It's like, how deep can you go with one game? And they keep doing that kind of stuff over and over again.
The one thing that fucks me up, again, I'm bringing up Assassin's Creed Origins again, because that's a recent game I played that can compare to it. With Assassin's Creed Origins, when you're in a area that you can't handle, they literally have levels on that part of the map or over the enemy's head that tell you, hey, you may not want to fuck with these guys just yet. They're a little too strong for you. In this game, things may seemingly look like you can fuck them up, but then they will one hit you, and you'll be like, what the fuck?
It's like, that thing is smaller than me. Like, it looks tattered. Why can't I kill this? And then slink.
Yes.
I was at full health.
The bane of my existence are the little guys that, like, they'll be hiding behind boxes and they pop up with smoke bombs and just, like, jump your ass.
And they're tiny. They're tinier, like the size of your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the part Otis was talking about right here. You see how much health he has, and that's what this game does. You see the boss has almost no health,
and it will still find a way it up the way.
In the little bananas. In Assassin's Creed, I think in Assassin's Creed, they'll have a skull over their heads?
This is just they may do it in 4, but I think it's only Origins that does that because it's the only one that's like an open world RPG type deal. But yeah, they'll have a skull over, like they'll have skulls over their head to let you know that they're like not bosses, but like they're not regular enemies.
And
then if they're red, it's telling you like, hey, you probably gonna have a really hard time trying to kill this dude. or he may.
Yeah, you're on the level for him. Yeah.
But if it's black,
yeah.
it's like it'll be different. It's letting you know that it's difficult. So they
Right.
give you cues to let you know what kind of a fight you're going into. With this one, you're going in blind, and it's trial by error.
Completely blind. And it's funny because you actually, like you said, it may be someone that you think is, this one's so small, this little guy can't do shit to me, or you may have fought someone like that before, and you'd wallop them, and you go up against him again. Now it's like, nah. Damn, Otis, you were so close. Look at how much energy he has. He has no energy.
I know.
One more good arrow should have killed him.
I was furious.
And that's the Souls rage, the FromSoft rage.
This game will fuck with your self-esteem because you'll get a brand new weapon, max it out, you get some new armor and feel like you the shit, and then get smacked 2 minutes later.
You will get smacked
and be like, well, I gotta get stronger, I guess.
The escalation. Yeah, as you get stronger, so do they. It's like the Yu Yu Hakusho. They always find a way to keep getting stronger. Right. But there was one thing I watched. I just sent Otis a video. I'll send it to you later on, Dev. But there was a video how it talks about how so many people playing FromSoft games, how FromSoft games help them with severe depression and kind of, like they said, quote, save their lives. And it's like one of those weird things, like how could a game that's overwhelmingly hard do that? And the long story short is what they call is efficacy. So the idea that you feel empowered because you're able to take on a very difficult challenge.
Mm-hmm.
In a game like, say, for example, like Uncharted, where you have never-ending continues and save points at random little spots, you don't feel as much of a sense of accomplishment beating it. It's like you can't stomp on anybody. You can't, you can't stun anybody by saying I beat Uncharted. But with games like Bloodborne and Sekiro and Dark Souls,
like, Elden Ring, finished that? I turned it in 2 weeks in or something like that.
Right. Or even with that boss. Last night when we beat that boss, the three of us together, we all celebrated. We're actually happy about that. That kind of accomplishment, it can carry over to other things too. You feel that you feel so much stronger because of that. You feel like you can do something else too. So
it's really interesting how art affects the human brain in any kind of format, and how much, like, when people say it saves their lives, I used to think that was kind of more of a hyperbolic statement in the sense where, like, yeah, you may have felt like it was dire in the moment, but after speaking to a lot of people that have been like, me being, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm a rural studies major in college, so I've been to a conference in which professors and other people and professionals have like presented this research in regards to mental health in different communities and things like that. And people will tell me about, like, it'll be something minor that just gives them that little hit of dopamine to keep them going and to fight through a depression. Again, this is a random plug to us. Well, you already watched the podcast, so it's not really a plug. But for Craig, one of our good friends, Craig, who's a fan of the podcast, Craig will tell you, like, he told me in a call, he was like, hey man, you guys helped save my life. And in my mind, I'm like, all right, this nigga's just gassing us. And he kind of broke down like how he's going through long drives and he uses this to kind of stay awake and to focus in on stuff and to keep him going. You never know how big or small an impact that content can make on somebody's life.
Really don't.
You never know. And that's why it being shitty to one person, or we do a lot of critiquing on this show, but at the end of the day, if you enjoy something, you enjoy it. That's regardless of how we 100%. Feel about it. So don't 100%. Take anything we say to heart when it comes to shit like that.
No, I'm 110% sure there are plenty of folks that actually enjoy the Awkwafina anthology short. I'm sure there are.
I'm pretty sure she gives a form of
representation. I mean, she does have fans somewhere.
She has plenty of reason.
Like, I'm positive she has people that like have a similar upbringing to her. They feel like she has representation.
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, so we're like Dev said, we're not here to shit on. I know we shit on things, but we're not here to do that. We're here to ultimately celebrate everything. And like he said, art. I think one of the greatest gifts art has is that it can actually make you feel genuinely better. I didn't tell Otis this. I told him a little bit about this. There's a project that him and I are working on, a book, a comic, or a series we're doing. And the second book, writing that book, it was called Sunflower. It was really, really hard for me. It was hard for me to do because it got really emotional for me. And then when I was finished with it, I felt relieved and I was really happy. And I sent it to my editor, and she loved it so much. She was gushing over it, and she got teary-eyed over it. And she told me how that made her feel better too. How it just kind of, as dark as it was, actually made her feel better, essentially, with emotions.
That was true.
So it's just art. Never underestimate how important difficult art may be to someone, and never underestimate how important art may be to you.
Exactly, because I've talked about in the podcast how, like, Ghost and other thing. I think Ghost particularly got me through depression. Do you guys have any other
Assassin's Creed Japan
media that helped you guys get through a depression?
Basketball, a lot for me, actually. through college.
You mean playing basketball?
No, watching basketball.
Oh, watching. Okay.
Yeah, through college, I was dealing with a lot. So between watching Derrick Rose play, watching Steph Curry play, like it changed my whole perspective on a lot of things. And we'll go deeper into that in another episode. But yeah,
Right.
like, basketball I think that's part of why I'm so addicted to it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah,
we'll
me,
get a basketball episode in on the pod at some point.
I'll do more research. So I can speak a bit more on basketball. I'm very much very casual on basketball, but
We can break it
for
down.
me it was Bloodborne. Ironically enough, another FromSoft game during the when Dev and you were going through Ghost of Tsushima during the height of the pandemic. I was doing the same thing with Bloodborne, and the idea of because Bloodborne looks like it felt like it looked like a pandemic hit it essentially, and I felt like I was empowered to. I mean, that's kind of how it looked. But I feel like I was empowered to battle, to literally pick up a stick and fight back against the pandemic in the world of Bloodborne. So it really, really helped with my feelings, my anxiety, and my depression there.
That's dope, man. That's dope. I guess we're getting towards the end of the show. We're like a little bit over an hour. You guys have any closing thoughts or remarks?
More anthology series. I mean, there are going to be some more bad ones in the process of getting more anthologies. Just because it's like, that's just how things come. But more, I think it's a really good concept. I think you get a lot of different viewpoints.
Yes.
That you wouldn't get normally, like in a standard series.
Exactly.
And you also get people to be able to experiment with writing. Like, I'm sure that was probably like Aquafina's first time ever writing something because it looked like it. But I mean, like, she got a chance to do that. Like that's great.
That's real. That's real. Yeah.
I would much rather her do that than destroy another 2K.
All right.
2K's doing that itself. They're doing that to themselves at this point.
My positive parting words are just that I agree with Otis that anthologies are great because it does give young writers or young artists a chance because we didn't mention this, that the art style between each of the episodes in the anthology were noticeably different and distinct, and it worked really well. We mentioned that we did talk about how the first one it seemed like the old school Fleischer Brothers Looney Tunes kind of Cuphead style of artwork. And it's really cool how they did that on purpose, how deliberate it was. It makes it a lot more fun. So I think it's a really good
series out too, actually.
Yeah, Cuphead is great still, actually. So they're a lot of fun. But
I agree. A series, like a cartoon series for it.
Yeah, it's 12 episodes, I think, on Netflix. It's actually really good. It's really good. So yeah, I'm right there with you. A good anthology is a great opportunity to see different artists, at work.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Closing remarks from me. I will say thank you guys for all the support. Never in 1,000 years would I thought that we could do something that's even as mildly as successful as this has been. So thank you guys for showing all the love, subscribing, and we even have a lot of people surprisingly watching or listening to the audio stuff. Like I'll check that every now and then and see we have people consistently watching that stuff. So if you guys enjoy it, comment, give us some feedback. Let us know what you guys want to see, what you guys don't want to see more of, and we'll keep trying to produce dope content for you guys in the future.
Absolutely.
All right, and this has been another episode of the Then and Now podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.
Houdini.
Otis, you want to say it?
Otis, you gotta say it.
You're a Chicago nigga. You gotta say it.
Yeah,
no.
It's a requirement.
You gonna refuse to say Houdini?
I refuse to say it because y'all disrespecting it right now.